Hello everyone, I'm Carly, and I have also been a victim of parts of me burning after cutting some peppers.
Oh? And I'm Sam, and okay, you guys, be honest. Carly, be honest. Do my eyes remind you of a cow's eyes?
I don't think so. I've never
Do they? Be honest.
I've never paid attention that hard to a cow's eyes.
Guys, do they? Do they?
Look, who thinks of that shit? I don't know. Anyway, welcome to Read Receipts with Carly and Sam, our book-based podcast covering all the latest hits and some stories off the beaten path.
With a few fun and exclusive episodes mixed in between.
And welcome back to the Summer of Love.
Ooh!
We have a whole romance-themed summer of content for both our book club and off-the-shelf episodes, and today we are saving a seat for a romance from the world of Spunes, Oregon, Left Up Forever.
Not to be confused with Forks, Washington.
Yes, I believe we will be going there later this year, if I'm not
Just
mistaken.
a little tidbit for you serial podcast listeners.
Yes.
So stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned. Now, before we get into the book, should we read the back of the book summary for anyone who's curious and wants to know a bit more
Yes,
about what we're getting into?
for sure.
So if you haven't read or if you need a refresher, Wren and Ellis Bird fell in love as kids, had their son Sam when they were only teenagers, and built a life together in the coastal town of Spunes, Oregon. They were made for one another until they fell apart. Now divorced and in their 30s, Wren runs the bakery in town while Ellis works as a firefighter. They live separate lives, though they are hardly off each other's minds. When Sam gets accepted into college and the pair help him move in together, Ellis convinces Wren to take an extended road trip back to Spunes with him to see if they can give their relationship one last chance. Amid the gorgeous scenery of the California coastline, dreamy destinations, and a great deal of long yearned-for proximity, Wren starts to think it just might be possible, but the two still have to contend with their tumultuous past in order to move forward. And when spoken words fail, sometimes the written word must bridge the gap. Will they make the most of what's left of forever, or will they let each other go for good?
I feel like that summary really makes it seem like there's a lot going on in this book.
It does.
Right? Like, it's second chance, there's forced proximity, there's also the written word, like a little hint as to like what happens.
Yeah.
You know,
tumultuous past.
Exactly, yeah. There's like a lot going on with this. And as we dive in deeper into the book, I forgot to do this earlier. We want to make sure to give out our spoiler warning for the podcast for those of you who haven't read the book now that you've heard the back of the book summary. If you're interested in reading it, make sure to give it a read first and then come on back to the podcast episode after you're done because we will be diving into all of the things we liked / maybe didn't like about this book, as well as character backstories, things like that. So you've been warned. Now I think we should also get into the characters a little bit. So we mentioned them a little bit in the back of the book summary that Carly just read, but we have Wren and Ellis, our like main couple that were together for so long and then divorced and now giving their romance a second chance. We have Sam, their teenage son, who has just recently been accepted into college. We have Sage and Fisher, which Sage is Ellis's sister and Wren's best friend. And then Fisher, I guess, is her partner. And I didn't realize this about this book, that it's like kind of a part of a series.
Yes. I read this first book that was focused on Sage and Fisher's romance.
Okay.
Yes. So they are technically part one of the Spunes universe.
Okay. So we have them in this book. We have Silas and Micah, who are Ellis's other two siblings. They're his brothers. And then we have Wren's mom, who I think her name is Savannah. Right?
When you wrote that, I was like, I guess that makes sense if it's Savvy's Bakery.
Because it's, Savvy, which I guess Savvy could be short for anything, I guess.
True.
But like, it makes sense that it's like Savannah. And I feel like she mentioned somewhere, like maybe once somewhere that it was Savannah, unless I just like pulled that out of my ass.
I don't remember. Wren's mom.
She's in it too. And then Kirby, who is Ellis's coworker. She plays a decent
role, but it's so funny that she ends up mattering as much as she does.
Yes, 100%, because you really think, especially when she first shows up, that she's just going to be this like side character, like it's his coworker.
Yeah. And
But
truly
she
just for like a
does
few
matter.
chapters.
Yes.
Yeah, and the setup that I feel like they leave off with for
Yes.
her return to this universe.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. So those are our characters that we have in this book specifically, obviously, because it is like a part of a series. Some of them appear in the first book as well. But those are going to be the main ones that we focus on here in this one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Carly.
Yes.
How'd you feel about the book?
Well,
Let's just get it out of the way.
Let's just
get it out of the way.
we didn't like this book.
We didn't like it.
Yeah. So in general, this episode is going to be structured a little bit differently because we kind of felt like we didn't want to talk too much about how we felt about the book overall because it kind of bleeds into what we're probably going to talk about for the majority of this episode.
Yeah.
But my star rating was a 2.25. I can't really tell you why exactly I gave it above like a 2 or above a 1 for that matter.
Yeah.
I think that there were some nuggets here and there of things that I liked. It didn't usually have to do with the specific romance. Mm-hmm. I think, honestly, there's just a part of me that feels too bad about giving a book a 1 star.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
As we've discussed before, I am pretty optimistic in my ratings.
Sure.
So I think, in a way, this is me giving a 1 star without actually doing it. But technically, there are some things I can point out. There were a couple of really good jokes. I was scrolling through my Kobo to be like, there were things I liked, right?
Sure,
and
yeah.
it's one-off lines here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of the parts that actually matter, the romance, it didn't work
Not for
me.
you,
I didn't feel it. So
yeah, that's how I felt as well. So I, as we've discussed before, am a little bit more pessimistic with my star ratings. I did in fact give it a 1 star. And I should disclaimer say that like I realize how hard, as a writer myself, like I understand how hard it is to put characters and a story and a universe together that everyone's going to like. And this isn't really anything against Tarah Dewitt's writing. Like I thought the writing itself was fine. I think it was more so the story that I really just wasn't invested in. Like I wasn't invested in these characters, and that made it really difficult to be invested in the story because it's a romance. So it's about these two main characters that if you don't like them, then there's not really anything for you in the book, you know?
Right.
Like I felt like they didn't have any chemistry. I felt like I didn't get enough backstory. And I don't know if that's because I didn't read the first book, but you had said that the first book wasn't even really about them. So
no, Ren plays a bigger role, I feel like, in the first book because she is Sage's best friend. I think that she is a bit more present, but still, you don't really see Ren and Ellis interact a whole lot. There's like maybe one scene where I think they are in the same room, but I wasn't clamoring for a romance from them. Yeah, there's a lot of things about this book that I feel like just didn't work. And yeah, like you said, I don't think it's necessarily specific to Tarah Dewitt.
Yeah.
I think it's just kind of the story.
I think it must just be the story. I mean, we just weren't very invested in it. And like, speaking of that, a big thing also that we've talked about with the book was that like nothing really happened.
Yes. So in general, the first half of the book, they don't even go on the road trip yet.
Yes.
And I feel like their interactions together are also kind of minimal. And then I literally left a note in our buddy read, I think I'm starting to like the story more now. And I looked and I was about 70% of the way through.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is too late in the book to start saying that.
No, for sure. Yeah. No, I totally agree. Yeah. And I understand that like, obviously things are a little bit tense, and Tarah Dewitt really builds that up in the beginning of the book, that like they don't really talk to each other. They're like civil for their son and co-parenting and all of that, and their friends and family as well, because it is a small town, so everybody knows everyone. But they have really, really tense interactions, which again I understand because they're divorced, they're not together, but it makes it hard for you as the reader to care about why they should be together, because they're so awkward around each other. Like, they're so awkward, and it's just really tense, and you don't get any of that, like, romance from them, which makes sense because they're divorced. But when I don't get that, then I don't really expect it, and I don't really want it. And you don't get any of that from first half of the book.
Yeah, I felt like this book really needed flashbacks to what their relationship was like more. I think technically we did get maybe a little bit.
There were a couple.
But honestly, more of them, I think the reason why those flashbacks didn't hit as hard is because they weren't true flashbacks where it's like we are going truly to that point in time and putting that character in that point in time and feeling what they felt in that moment. We're, as like Ren, as a 35-year-old or whatever, thinking about the past.
Thinking about it,
which is, you know, mutated with her emotions about what happens in their future.
Sure.
So I think that it doesn't really work as well because you don't feel that romance if it's also kind of tainted by what happens to them after.
Yeah, that's fair.
I do think that technically the letter writing phase was supposed to be what got us into them as a couple, but there's so many things about
it didn't do it for me.
Yeah, for one, it didn't do it. And I think part of why it didn't do it is because in some ways, like, yes, it is them writing, but because there is secrecy kind of on both of their ends. Not as much Ren's, obviously, but at least on Ellis's, he's aware that it's Ren and he's not saying that he is the one writing back.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to fully believe that they are being 100% themselves, but also I kind of just thought the letters are really cringe.
Yeah, I kind of did too.
Yeah, I was just like, who talks? I don't know. I felt really embarrassed for how deep they were getting, I guess, or not even exactly deep, but just like
the way they were writing. I can't even really pinpoint exactly what they said, but I know what you're talking about. That like vibe of them writing to each other. It just was not it. I also felt like it wasn't it because it didn't last long enough for me to care about it. Even if that's why Tarah Dewitt had the letter writing phase in there, was to make us care about the relationship between these two characters, it didn't last long enough for that to like sink in for me as a reader.
Yeah, I think they only had like 3 interactions back and forth. Yeah, it's not really a whole lot, and them just kind of talking about their lives, I felt like wasn't exactly seeing them have chemistry. Because literally, I mean, that's like saying like, oh yeah, I have chemistry with someone that I'm texting with.
Right.
I think over paper, it doesn't really hit the same. I do think, sure, writing your emotions out over paper can be really good if it's like, here's a love letter about how much I love you based on the real interactions that I have with you.
Yeah.
But, you know, I can't really form an opinion on a relationship that's only ever written to each other.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think it made sense.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for me, I mean, all of the same things, and the fact that it just like didn't last long enough just really didn't do it for me, and overall like didn't help me care about the characters at all.
Yeah. Speaking of the letters, how did you feel about the fact that Ellis knowingly was responding to Ren that it was her and not admitting that it was himself, and continuing to keep that secret throughout most of the book?
So I don't know if you remember towards the end of the book when they like have that big confrontation and like talk about why they broke up and then decide to get back together and then they have a lot of sex.
Yeah.
That whole chapter, the whole time I was like, is he gonna tell her?
Yeah.
I was like, is he gonna tell her? Because I feel like that's a big thing to have lied about, like knowing it was her and like getting all of her emotions and feelings regarding, I don't know if she specifically says anything about the end of her relationship with him, not knowing it's him, obviously, but she definitely talks about her life and like her friends and her family and all of that. So that's a big thing to like hide from her, and moving forward, if you're gonna get back together, like that just felt like to me like a big no. Like you have to tell her that you knew about this the whole time. And then he like doesn't do it, and they decide to get back together. They have tons of sex.
Right. It felt like he kind of locked it in before admitting to what he did wrong.
And so then I also expected it to be a bigger confrontation than it was.
And also part of me was like kind of keeping track of like how far into the book we were, and I'm like, okay, this seems like kind of late to do.
It's like very
a late act breakup, but like surely that's what's gonna come of this, right? And then, and then she's like,
it's fine.
Like, oh,
it doesn't matter.
fun.
It's okay. I was like, what?
Yeah, I really thought she was going to have a problem with it.
Yeah, I really thought so too.
Not to mention, too, it's not that he got to tell her and she got to have her own reaction from him admitting it. She finds out.
Yes. So he doesn't even tell her.
She says that, I think that she was like, okay, I'm going to wait to see if the letters are here. I'm going to wait to see if he's going to bring it up.
If he like brings it up.
And luckily he does. So like he kind of.
That's true.
I don't love that in a way she was testing him, but technically he did pass that test.
Yeah, that's.
But yeah, I was just kind of surprised that she didn't make a bigger deal out of it, because I think I would have not felt great about that situation.
No, I totally agree. Yeah, I definitely expected it to be kind of a bigger blow up than it was, versus her just being like, no, it's fine, we're still together. And then I think there were maybe like 2 more chapters after that, and I was like,
yeah. Honestly, I kind of wonder if that affected how I felt about Ellis throughout the book, knowing that he had the secret, basically.
Maybe.
And I mean, I don't think it played a huge role in the overall.
I mean, yes.
I think there was so much.
I would have still loved it.
Right. I don't think that was what held it back. But, you know, it is kind of hard to not think about that as the book goes on. And especially, not that I was aware of this as it was going, but, you know, it's revealed later that this whole road trip was structured around her talking about how she wanted to travel to Europe. And she, like,
that's true,
listed specific things. So.
That's true. And that does come up in the letters.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, for sure. And I did appreciate the fact that the letters did eventually come back around, because
they were at least relevant.
You know, they were at least relevant, because like we were talking about earlier, they didn't feel relevant when they were happening. You know, it was like, what are we getting out of this? Yeah. So, yeah, that whole thing.
Yeah, I, as someone who technically is a millennial, I was like, ouch, I am feeling the millennialness coming out of these letters.
Yes,
oh, no.
Honestly. Playing off of the letters a little bit, I really felt like, with you talking about like how Ren was testing him, and then like him also just like hiding the letters from her, it felt like even at the end of the book, they still had a lot of like personal problems that they were bringing into the relationship that I feel like they still need to fix before there is like a forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Ren like testing him, that's kind of icky.
Yeah.
That's kind of icky. Ellis hiding the letters from her, kind of icky.
Yeah.
And throughout the book, they even talk about, you know, how like Ren wishes Ellis had gone to therapy for, you know, everything that he had gone through in his life, and having to take on a lot of this burden and responsibility of not only his siblings when his parents passed away, but also, you know, having a child so young and doing all of that, and how he was so like closed off, felt like he needed to take care of everyone, and how she felt like that affected a lot of things in their life, how she wished he had gone to therapy for that.
Right.
And then also throughout the book, like all of the things that Ren is kind of like holding over him, I felt like were also issues that she had that never really got brought up. But I was like, I feel like you also should probably go to therapy.
Yeah.
And you both should probably go to therapy together too, like a couples therapy situation. Like, I feel like there's still a lot that you two need to fix before there is what's left of forever.
Right. It did kind of feel like, I mean, at least I guess they sort of talked about it. Like, it felt like, I guess, in their relationship, a big part of the problem was that they were beating around the bush a lot. They weren't really addressing all these bigger issues. So technically, sure, they at least got it on the table with each other. Yeah. But it does feel like that isn't exactly enough to sort of fix things. It's a good start, but I mean, they jump into like, okay, we want to get married. Right. and that's like our epilogue, is that they get married. So I don't know. It does feel a little weird. And speaking of, I felt like this book punished Ellis a lot more for Ellis's lack of going to therapy, for all his lifetime traumas that he experienced, over Ren and how she handled the relationship. Yeah. I felt like she, like you said, she equally should have gone to therapy for all the things that she was going through. Sure, she didn't have as much like lifetime trauma as Ellis, because it does sound like Ellis was kind of burning the candle at both ends. But I mean, with Ren's difficulty with
her infertility.
Yes. Which, to be fair, I don't want to like sound too crass as we go through this episode, by the way, and talk about infertility, because obviously that's not something that we have specific experience with.
Sure.
And so there are sensitivities that we might not understand.
Yeah.
But in general, like with that, her mom's cancer treatment, I think she had cancer.
Her mom was sick.
She was at least sick. Yeah. And it seemed like it was very scary.
Yes.
And so she definitely had a lot of stuff going on that I think was affecting the relationship as well. And it just didn't feel like we were addressing that there was fault on both sides. Not that I'm saying that she, you know, of course those are hard things to go through.
100%,
but
yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, it just felt like Ren was oftentimes pushing that, like, why is Ellis basically treating me nicely and kind of pussyfooting around everything? Yes. And it's like, I can see why he's acting that way. Right. But you kind of holding such a grudge about it, and then you not being the one to also communicate about it. Yes. It's frustrating.
Yeah. They both had, I mean, life issues. Ellis, I guess, it seems like in the book had more of his like at a younger age, but then of course like infertility and her mother's diagnosis, being sick and all of that, like those are still life experiences that you are bringing into your relationships, specifically the one with your husband, you know, who you're supposed to be very close with. Like that's probably affecting that relationship a lot.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're not acknowledging that, again, those things specifically, like I personally don't have any experience with, so I don't know how difficult that might be. But like knowing, having been through difficult things myself, like obviously it is tough to like seek help or to seek comfort in the people that are supposed to be supporting you the most. But the fact that she not only didn't do it, but also, like you said, it kind of felt like she was blaming Ellis for not doing it as well, was kind of like pot meet kettle.
Yeah.
You know? And then like you said as well, like the things that were going on in the relationship, how they weren't really communicating and how he was kind of holding things back, not to put more on her plate, and how she was like, well, I just want to leave the relationship, but you didn't fight for me.
Yeah.
Like putting so much expectation on him. Like they both did things wrong.
Right. Like honestly, that is kind of a similar like testing nature in a way, that she would, you know, say, I want a divorce, and then part of her upsetness is that he is not fighting her.
He didn't say, no, don't leave me.
No, that's the correct response. If your partner wants a divorce, like, you could maybe get what closure you need out of it, but
yes.
I mean, technically you shouldn't stop her from making a choice that she wants to do.
Right.
So, I don't know. I just, I kind of felt like we were just shitting on Alice a lot for things, and it's like, the man's been through enough, and you have been through a lot too.
You've also been through a lot,
But like, let's be sensitive about these things with each other.
Yes,
like, because in a way, Ren is the one who is more specifically going through infertility, and I understand that probably does play a lot on your psyche as the person who would be literally bearing the child.
Yeah.
But you are two parents that both want children. I know at a certain point he does kind of take things back because he cares about her and there were like medical issues, but I don't know. I felt like it was complicated, and again, because of how complicated those emotions are, it does feel a little bit like, did we get enough resolve on those things for us to really move forward in this relationship?
Exactly. Yes. I felt like it almost needed to be, I don't want to say it needed to be longer, but like
we also didn't get anywhere in general.
Yeah. They needed to fix more of that stuff, I felt like. And there was no like further commitment as to whether or not they were going to. So I'm kind of like, realistically, I don't know how long this second forever is going to last for you if you're not going to fix these issues.
Yeah. It reminds me of how I feel like a lot of people view conflict in relationships, that it's like, we just need to say our pieces and then move on. And I don't feel like
that's not really how that works.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter because with the stage of life that they're both in, they're not going to be having kids going forward.
Sure.
But I feel like you guys need to come to some sort of understanding of how Alice is going to prioritize you in certain situations over like your desire to have kids. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. That's the specific situation, but I think that speaks to other things in their relationship where I feel like, I don't know if they're exactly understanding each other's point of views.
Agreed.
I feel like at least maybe Alice is coming to Ren's side. It just didn't feel a whole lot like Ren was coming to his side and understanding where he was coming from.
Yeah. And I think that's maybe an aspect that people don't love about second chance romances. We talked about this in our underrated romance tropes, characters, books episode, which was just the one before this. So after this episode, if you want to give that one a listen, feel free. But we did talk about how I really like second chance romances when they're done well. And I think there is that aspect of if you don't fix your issues, then you're going to have the same problems. And that's both in story and in reality, even if you decide to get back together with an ex, you know, if you're getting back together with your ex-husband or ex-wife, if you don't really fix the issues of like why you broke up, then the chances of you breaking up again they're pretty high. Yeah. You know, you really have to get to that root cause.
Yeah. Honestly, I was thinking about that when I was thinking about this book and what I didn't like about it. I was like, is it because it's a second chance romance? Because I don't think I've read a second chance romance before that I can remember.
Oh, okay.
So part of me was like, do I just not like this trope, or is it specific things with this book? So I don't know. I'll have to definitely...
You'll have to give another one.
Yeah, I'm on my Emily Henry trajectory. I just got a hold released on Libby for Funny Stories, so
perfect.
I'll make my way through eventually.
Perfect.
And we'll see how I feel about that.
Yeah, she has a really good second chance romance that I really like. Happy Place.
Yes.
If any of you have read it, I really like that one. I like the way she handled the second chance in that book.
Yeah, so that'll be a good way to test how much of the trope itself maybe played into how I felt about the book.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Another aspect I think people don't like about second chance romances, now that we're on that topic, is the miscommunication aspect of second chance. I feel like a lot of second chance romances have that, oh, you didn't tell me this, or it was like difficult to talk about this, and like that's why we broke up. But now we're going to talk about it and we're going to decide to get back together. And like what you were saying, then they just get back together without actually like fixing the issues. Mm-hmm. So I feel like people also don't like that miscommunication aspect of like, just talk to each other.
Yeah. Which is very fair. I mean, they spend 4 to 5 years not talking to each other post the divorce, which, speaking of, also, I don't know why at one point I remember like through the other Spunes book or whatever, I thought they were apart for a long time, or a lot longer than that.
The one before this one?
Yeah, I don't know, part of me was like, that almost made me feel like, well, yeah, why aren't you guys back together, or why aren't you guys talking about it if both of you clearly have such an interest in each other still? Like, if it was 10 years they've been divorced, I feel like it would almost make more sense for them to come back together, because it's almost like, well, we were different people back then.
Sure.
And sure, that can still be true, but I don't know, it just still feels recent enough that it's like kind of surprising that they wouldn't have reached out to each other sooner.
I'm curious at how, like, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, how their interactions now, or I guess not like at the end of the book, but now that they're divorced, are very like tense and like cordial, like they're mostly about their son and like maybe their family and friends. But it's like, if you still feel that awkward around your ex, like clearly there's something there that needs to be resolved, you know, whether or not it's communicating and deciding to get back together, or like, I don't know, maybe not hanging around his family as much, which I know is hard because it's a small town, right? Her friends too, but
she seems like she has like no other family too.
Yes, like,
which is sad.
But it's sad, but it's also like you're putting yourself through this heartache over and over again over the course of 5 years, which theoretically is long enough, I feel like, for you to have gotten over a divorce, or for you to have gotten over a breakup, if that's like something that's in the cards. Obviously, like, they still had a lot of those feelings for each other, but it's like, if you had gone out, maybe made new friends, maybe stopped hanging around him and his family as much, would you have healed? Like, would you have gotten over this relationship?
That's a good point.
Would you have met someone else? Would you have fallen in love with someone else? Because we also find out that they've really only loved each other.
Yeah.
So, like, did you not give it the right amount of opportunity for you, and not even just in romance, for you to, like, fall in love with someone else, but also just for you to grow as like, a person? Did you not give it that opportunity because you were still stuck in this kind of, like, tense circle of
like, how do you move on if you're constantly being reminded?
Yes, exactly. So I feel like there was, like, a lot of that going on as well.
Yeah, speaking of awkward interactions between them, I think it's so funny that their divorce would lead Ellis to basically not eat any of her desserts anytime. Like, I was just like, what a weird specific barrier to have.
Yeah, what a weird thing. Like, I
feel like
have that.
I feel like that's kind of worse. I feel like that comes off as like, I hate you, I'm not going to eat your food.
It really, Which
I know that's not how he feels, but it's just like, I don't know if this is sending the message that you think it is. Yeah. I don't know, personally, I don't know, it's a weird boundary to me. Yeah. Just had to say, I remember that. Speaking of the whole Wren's ability to sort of get over the relationship because of her proximity to the other birds, I think it's so funny that basically, you know, it's understandable that because she has Sam, basically, that it is kind of hard for her to sort of do whatever she wants with her life, because she might feel an obligation to stay nearby. And this is his family. These are the people that, like, he's grown accustomed to. I could see how you don't want to, like, move away or make any big changes that would affect him.
I mean, that's fair. She could still make other friends.
She could make other friends.
Or, like, have other hobbies.
Yeah, like how...
I don't know. I didn't grow up in a small town. So
I know, it's like how
know,
distant
like,
is Spunes
how-
from other towns.
Yeah, like, maybe she couldn't, but I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
she probably could.
But with all that being said, it's like he finally graduates high school, is going to college. This is her chance.
And then she wanted to do something really big.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
And then she goes back
This
to
is
Alice.
the time that she gets back together with
It's
her
like,
ex.
this is
Yes.
literally the one good thing about being a
Yes.
teen mom is that you kind of get to continue your life at a decently young age still.
Yeah.
And then, nope, you go back to what you've always known. It's like, girl.
Yeah.
Come
Literally,
on.
yeah, like what we were saying, literally the only thing she's ever really known is Ellis.
Yes. Which, no offense, but I mean, to each their own. But in my mind, I'm like, really? You don't?
Yeah.
I mean, she has had sex at this point with like other people
Sure,
and stuff. So it's
sure.
not like she just hasn't experienced anything else. But it's just like.
But there's just so much more than that as well. Like, other than sex, like, there is so much more than that for you to experience, which I don't know if it's also like in her mind, like, I've already had the best, like, there's nothing better out there or whatever. I don't
I mean, we can certainly talk about her taste in sex.
Oh man, yes. Before we do that, I have one more thing to say about their
Right, yeah.
miscommunication. I really wish that it could have been done in a way that didn't feel like halfway through the book, Ellis was like, let's get back together because I still have feelings for you. And Ren was like, okay, yes, I still have feelings for you. The end. Because that's pretty much what ended up happening at the end of the book anyway. Like, we talked about how they didn't really solve their problems at the end of the book, and we weren't sure if they were really going to solve their problems past the end of the book. So really, the book, I felt like, could have ended in like chapter 14, 15, when they start talking about going on this road trip. It could have just been a like, hey, I want to go on this road trip because I still have feelings for you and I want to, you know, get that romance, get that spark back. And she could have been like, yes, I also still have feelings for you. Let's just get back together. Literally the end.
Yeah, like the only thing that it accomplished really was that they were less awkward around each other.
Yes.
And they maybe felt a little bit more free to say the things that they didn't want to say during their actual relationship.
Yes.
So, yeah, like, as we've said a million times, it's like, but they didn't actually fix anything.
Right, yeah.
It just felt like not a whole lot of progress for the amount of book that was left after that point.
Agreed. But I guess if they hadn't have gone on the road trip, we wouldn't have gotten all that great sex.
Sure, great sex, yes. Let's talk about that. I mean, there were certain points where I was like, yeah, this is pretty hot.
Did you, okay, I was gonna say, did you feel like this was like a smutty book? Like, were you like...
I don't have the count off of my head, but didn't it feel like more than 5 times that they had sex?
Maybe. I also don't really have... I also don't really have the count off the top of my head, but I will say that, like, not just, like, quantity of times, but the quality of sex they were having, like, they're kind of freaky.
They are freaky in ways that I'm like, oh, I don't actually get that.
They were kind of, I was like, oh, I think it started, like, I realized this from, like, one of the early, I mean, it was like an early chapter, maybe like chapter 5 or something, when Ellis is remembering, like, before they got divorced, he's remembering the last time they had sex together. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you remember it, but it was, like, really primal, for one. It was very, like, not in, like, an abusive way, but in kind of rough, like rough and like raw and like all of that. And it also started from like her getting a cut on her finger and him like licking and like sucking the blood out. And the way it's like described is that like she like gets the cut, they like have a like glance, like they like look into each other's eyes, and he's like automatically turned on and like grabs her hand and like sucks on it, and they like maintain eye contact, and that's supposed to be like really sexy.
Do we think that the reason why he was turned on so much by this is because
he's a vampire?
Yes, I was gonna literally though, I'm like, it's not Forks, Washington, but it's kind of close.
But is it? Yeah.
Northwest? Is there something in the air?
I mean,
the Northwestern people love blood.
Are they all vampires?
Maybe.
Question mark.
We should ask. We shouldn't ask Tarah Dewitt, but
Dear Tarah Dewitt.
Dear Tarah Dewitt, is Ellis a vampire? Because what the fuck?
Just curious.
I could not get on board with that. Like, the rest of the sex was kind of, like, I don't mind.
The rest of the sex, I'll be honest, was kind of hot.
Yeah, I blacked that part out.
But the licking blood part was like, and the fact that was what was turning them on.
Yeah.
I was like,
I would never really want someone to lick a wound of mine, but then furthermore,
yes,
it certainly would do
bloodborne
anything.
Pathogens.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, that can't be good. I'm gonna immediately put alcohol on that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was, and the fact that they were getting off on it is just like, what?
Yeah.
Well,
and then I don't know if you remember, so it's a flashback from Ellis's perspective,
yes.
right? So he's like driving from the Colorado fires. He's thinking about this. He gets so turned on in the present that he has to pull over to masturbate. And I was like, excuse me?
That's crazy. Maybe he has a really vivid imagination.
That was just like a lot for me. And I remember literally all of this happening like in chapter 5 or 6. Like, it was pretty early on.
It is, yeah.
That I read this and I'm like, is this what I'm in for? Like, what? Like, what kind of book is
honestly,
this?
pretty
like,
good tone setter, because
I mean, to be fair, it might not be the craziest thing sex-wise that happened in the book.
No, because let's I want to talk in general at large about the cooking class.
Sure.
But certainly that is the weirdest sex of the book.
The pepper boner ice cream sex.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I've dubbed it now.
Yes.
So
I would have never thought to put ice cream on.
I mean, I guess, like, if it were burn anywhere else. Because, like, dairy's supposed to be good, like, for, like, spicy food.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
So, like, there's some logic there, I guess is what I'm saying. But really what I'm curious about is the fact that, like, he got a boner. Like, you're in pain.
You're in pain.
I'm not going to pretend to know that, like, you and I are experts on the male anatomy.
No.
But
I especially haven't seen a dick in 10 years.
Right. Yes.
Sorry.
I'll ask all my boys.
Yeah.
Hey, just curious.
This is your job, sorry.
Would this happen to you?
Yeah. What do you think you would like this? I mean, to be honest, now that I say it out loud, it's like, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That men are just weird, and they.
I mean, I guess.
If there's
a
woman already in front of you,
that you're already attracted to. Like,
yeah.
he is, like, very attracted to her and, like, in love with her or whatever. So,
as
yeah.
you can see.
Right, exactly, yeah. So, I mean, I guess, but I'm like, if it were me as a woman, that is the last thing I'm thinking about. Like, if I have, like, a yeast infection.
Yes,
or, like,
exactly.
I don't know, like, I'm not
so
thinking
are we
about
cleaning that up before I do anything? Because...
Oh, yes, 100%. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not putting that anywhere near me.
Yeah, honestly, that's what I was thinking, because of the fact, as I have mentioned previously, parts of me have burned because of cutting peppers. And I'm just like...
Are we ever going to talk about that?
Well, ironically, I was making tacos, and...
Oh.
So there were peppers on a couple different tacos that day.
And interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the short version. But yeah, I don't think that would work for me. Like, that just seems too dangerous.
Sure. And then, yeah, under the guise of, like, the cooking class itself, there was a lot going on.
There was so much going on
there.
I want to back up all the way too before they get to the cooking class, because I definitely am someone that's like, well, if I don't want to do something, I'm just not going to show. Like, depending on what it is, maybe I'll call ahead and, like, let them know.
Oh.
But I would...
How, like, she didn't really want to go to the cooking class?
Yes, and so they were just, like, hanging out. Oh, yeah, I forgot. They were also, like, starting to bone.
I was going to say, he was, like, fingering her.
Yes. Yes. And I was like... Where are the people? Hello.
Like, out in the middle of the vineyard.
Yes. And then they call over intercoms.
And they were about to bone. You're right. Because he was fingering her and she was like, no, let's just bone. And they were about to bone.
Yes. And then I said, Ren and Ellis Bird, please come to the office. And I was just like, God damn it. Like,
Wow.
I am like,
I honestly kind of
do
forgot
not
about that.
call my name out over an intercom. Like, if I don't want to go, just leave me alone.
Yeah.
Why do you need me? And they waited for them before they got started.
I agree, because I feel like if I've already paid for it, then what's the issue?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, you got my money. What do you care?
Exactly, yeah.
Surely you have had people that are slightly antisocial who have changed their mind. And you do this every time. Leave them alone. And then on top of that, they get to the cooking class, and then they're like, okay, everyone split up. It's like,
That I thought was really strange. Why would you have people like split up? I imagine a lot of these people signed up together.
Yeah.
So like, why would you split them up?
this is a romantic winery. I don't want to cook with some random person I don't know.
Exactly. I came here with somebody. I would like to spend my time with that person.
Yes. Like, what are you doing?
I thought that was strange.
Yeah, I was like, this is my nightmare. Every time. And then he gets peppers on it. I'm like, oh my God, yeah.
Carly was like, this whole scene, I can't handle it.
Yeah. PTSD.
There's too much, I can't.
Yeah. Get me out of here. No one look at me.
I also, this is kind of random, but you like read the book. I listened to it over audiobook, and the like cooking class instructors are supposed to be Australian in the book, if you remember. The Australian accents of whoever was narrating this book, I was like, what is happening? And there's also a part where the characters are like being mocked for their Australian accent. So even like the mocking of Australian accent was like extra not good, because the actual Australian accent was like, what is happening? Like, what am I listening to?
Yeah. It's like we're getting lost now.
The whole scene was just something.
Yeah. But isn't there another one where they're like at a dance hall and they're acting kind of weird? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have a vague memory of what you're talking about. That happened earlier though, right?
It happens after the...
Oh no, at the festival.
Yes, the Irish festival.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Yes. I do remember what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah. So in general, the way that they are dancing with each other is kind of hilarious. Like, I don't know, I would feel really uncomfortable doing that in a room full of people.
It's very like middle school hormones.
Yes. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't want to yuck people's yum. And it's like, sure, if you're really in love and blah blah blah, like that's nice for you. But
Carly,
personally,
do you think maybe we're just not freaky enough for them?
Maybe I think
maybe it's us.
I think our Catholic shame is coming into play.
Maybe it's just us. Maybe we need to be more adventurous in the bedroom, and that's why we're having...
I mean, probably, but I don't know. There's just a certain line.
Probably.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to speak for you, but like... But I don't know. I mean, honestly, it's not even just that, like... Because, sure, whatever. Do whatever you want with your sex. But I just think it's kind of embarrassing the way that they were, like, so aggressively dancing with each other. It's just like... Y'all.
It reminded me very much of like a middle school dance.
Yeah.
I was like, this is middle school hormones.
Yeah, for sure. Like, kind of hilariously. I don't know. I was just like, what's everyone else doing in this room?
Yeah. Right. Yes. Like, how many other people are in this room?
Everyone's just... Yeah. And then they're like... grinding on the dance floor. It's like, does this match the music?
Also, just kind of like imagine two 30-something-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like doing that in the middle of like a festival.
Yeah.
I would be like, what is going on? But again, that's how I felt about most of their sex. So
yeah. It's like, I want what they have, I guess, in a way. Like,
yeah.
They really
maybe
like
we
each
just
other.
need to, maybe I just need to like explore more.
Yeah. Start with ice cream, I guess.
Okay, so I do feel kind of bad that we've talked mostly about the things that we didn't really like in this book.
Yeah.
Were there any things that you did like?
I feel like the thing that was easily the most well-liked about the book was Silas as a character.
100%. Yes.
He was so funny.
That was going to be mine. That was going to be my...
He had a lot of good lines,
what I
like
like.
one-liners and stuff like that. He said something about how he was never going to get his pinky toenail back again, and Ellis was like, I'm sorry, man, I know that one was your favorite.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a good joke.
There's so much about Silas and his like relationship with not only Ellis, but also like Sage and all of the other characters. Mm-hmm. Like, he is a fun character. I really liked him.
I don't know if I'm for sure going to read any future books that are in this family.
Sure.
But I'm sad that they are setting up Micah, it seems, first.
That's kind of what it looked like.
Interestingly, with Kirby.
With Kirby.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
We're keeping her?
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Keeping her.
I guess.
She's going to be around.
I didn't care for her. I'm just, like, I also was kind of like Ellis, like, why are you still talking to me?
Fair. I mean, I liked her. I just didn't expect that she was going to be around. Like, I would have been fine if she never appeared again.
Yeah. Her sending a picture of herself on Thanksgiving, I was like, what are you, girl, what are you trying to do? Are we interested in Ellis? Why are you sending a picture of yourself? Because we're setting you up with his brother. And you know that he's in love with his ex-wife.
With his ex-wife. Well, maybe that's why she didn't think that much about it. 'Cause she was like, he's not going to do anything about this.
I've just never sent a picture of myself to a person I wasn't
I'm going to send a picture of myself to you.
Yeah, to my friend. We'll see. Maybe we'll
Maybe
really
if you
like
read
her.
it. I don't think I will personally read it, but let me know if you do and how that all works out. But yeah, for sure, Silas, really in love with that character.
Yeah.
Loved him. I did like Sam as a character as well. And I did like, we talked about maybe her name being Savannah/Savvy, Ren's mom.
Yes.
I did really like her as well.
I thought it was so funny whenever they were supposed to have 2 rooms and suddenly they didn't.
One bed. There's only one bed trope.
Yes.
Yep.
And then it was
her mom. I know.
She's like, come on.
I loved how she was basically like how we are in books when there's a slow burn. She's like, you need a bone.
Yeah.
Like, it's time.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah. Come on.
Let's go.
And it's like, oh, don't worry. They will bone.
Yes.
Many a time.
I did think it was funny. And that was a good, like, little twist because I did think it was Sam as well. And then when, like, all that came out that it was her, I was like, oh, savvy.
Yeah. One more really funny moment that I liked from the book, whenever Ren is on the phone with Sage and she's like in the process of like finishing up baking stuff for Sam's graduation.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And
I know exactly.
She drops the phone and because Ellis is there, she's like, they're like, what's going on? She's like,
in her boob.
Yes. And she's like, oh, well, nice motorboating you.
And then the fact that Ellis is like, let me just.
Yeah.
And I was like, Ellis, you dog.
Honestly, that was a pretty good scene. There were moments here and there where I was like, I don't know, maybe we are getting somewhere. And then, I don't know. So
there were moments. And again, bringing it back to, I don't think it was Tarah Dewitt. I think it was just the story didn't really do it for me. And like maybe it could have been done better, but it was mostly the story. Because I thought the writing was fine. And there were funny moments. And, there were characters that were lovable.
Yeah.
Obviously. So...
Yeah.
Well, that's halfway through Summer of Love.
Yes, this is officially the halfway point.
This is officially the halfway point.
Yeah.
And, we didn't love this one, but clearly it can only go up from here. Right?
Yes, exactly. And as someone who has finished our next book club episode, boy, is it a dramatic jump up.
Ooh.
I am so excited for this next book.
Okay, do you want to tell the people
Yes.
what book it is?
We are going to be reading for our last book club episode of the Summer of Love. We are reading The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. We'll figure that out by the time we
Hopefully.
by the time we cover it.
Probably not. It'll probably be just like this, where we're like, Ashley Poston?
Yeah, we'll
Poston?
forget in about however long. But to give you guys an idea of what this book is going to be like, I will read the back of the book summary for you.
Yes.
Sometimes the worst day of your life happens, and you have to figure out how to live after it. For Clementine West, that means burying her head in her work as a book publicist, being practical, and forgetting the silly things her beloved Aunt Analea taught her, like living wide and chasing the moon. Clementine would rather stay grounded and keep her heart safe. For the last 6 months, she's done just that. But when she moves into her late aunt's apartment and finds a strange man standing in the kitchen, a man with kind eyes and a southern drawl and a taste for lemon pies, her well-laid plans begin to fall apart. Because he's the type of man who, before it all, she would have fallen head over heels for, and she still might. Except he exists in the past, 7 years in the past to be exact, and she quite literally lives 7 years in his future. Her aunt always said the apartment was a pinch in time, a place where moments blended like watercolors. She also said that love is never a matter of time, but a matter of timing. And Clementine fears she may be 7 years too late.
How interesting.
Yeah.
I love the, magical aspect of the book.
Yes.
Especially because I think if there weren't a magical aspect, if I just like came home and found a strange man standing in my apartment.
Right, like, hello, alarm bells?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I have seen this book on, like, so many people's lists of general favorite books. Like, I don't even think just romance
Agreed.
books.
Yes.
And I was always a little bit skeptical of, like, okay, am I going to feel the same way? But I 100% get the hype behind this book now. So,
Okay, I'm excited. I still have to get through it. But so far, I'm enjoying it.
yeah, could not recommend it enough. Everyone, read this book for our next book club episode.
Yes. Yeah, join us for the book club episode. It's going to come out, I want to say, Tuesday, August 26th is when it comes out, and that'll be our final book for the Summer of Love. But of course, before then, in between the two episodes, we do have an off-the-shelf episode coming out Tuesday, August 12th, and that is going to be an overrated romance books, tropes, characters episode, kind of in partnership with our last off-the-shelf episode, which was an underrated romance books, tropes, characters episode. So make sure, especially if you've listened to the previous one, and even if you haven't, give it a listen, and listen to our overrated episode as well.
A nice little pairing.
Thanks for listening to the latest episode of our hit podcast, Read Receipts with Carly and Sam. All of the content that you hear in this episode is curated, recorded, and edited by us truly, with special thanks to the authors of the books that we read and Pixabay for the music that we play. For more of our content in between shows, make sure to follow us at the Read Receipts Pod on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. We love to see new followers. Follow us along on there. We post a lot of great stuff. We love to read your comments, all of the things. So please, please, please make sure to follow us on that. And while you're at it, go ahead and just subscribe to the podcast as a whole so you can keep getting more information about all of these fun new podcasts that we record and publish. Until our next read, bye!